Hold on tight for the next hour. You're entering into a place, a zone called the alternative to the alternative media.
What the hell's going on out here?
It's a place, a special place where even truth seekers fear to tread.
All right, people, let's move like we got a purpose. Affirmative.
It's time for the Greg Anthony Show on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Okay, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, people of all races, colors, and creeds, welcome back to the greatest show on earth. I mean, the greatest show on earth, because it's better than realizing, folks, you can't buy a pair of underwear at Target because it's not in the essential item list. Oh my God. And it's better knowing, folks, that if you get close to somebody, 6 feet close to somebody, you can't shake their hands and you're going to get hit by a stick or sprayed with mace. And it's better, folks, than knowing there's not one restaurant open that you can go to. But you know what? I'm inviting everyone listening tonight out to dinner tonight, okay? Yeah. Let's meet at our favorite restaurant. Those were the good old days when the emperor told you you could go out and play. Greg Anthony here on CRN, the greatest show on earth. Harry, there he goes again saying it's the greatest show on earth. It isn't the greatest show on earth. He sucks. Martha, it is the greatest show. Listen to what he has to say, will you? Now, folks, I want to know where you're at, but I'm sitting in a little wine bar in a place called San Quintin, and that's not near Santa Monica. I'm on the other side of the border, and you know the borders are closed, except for the cartels, of course. They're allowed to go back and forth, just like they used to. But anyway, the first week I did my show on CRN, I was in Tijuana. And then I moved to Rosarito, which is south. Then I went to Ensenada. And now I'm a little further south in San Quintin in this wine bar. And those were two gringos yelling at me. And I said, I had a little sign on. I've got the COVID virus. Don't come close to me. You know, it really does work. But there, folks, you know what? I don't know the last time that I talked about anything serious. And I do a daily show, and many people come now just to, play along with me, have some fun to get through this, and I can about say what I want because I have cabin fever from this. Is it starting to set in with you? I don't know. I literally think this is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm trying to get serious about it, but I can't because there's so many crazy things going on. For example, uh, there are people actually washing their money. Yeah, this is not a joke. These people are taking their money out and they're telling you if you have money in your wallet, like me, I don't worry about that. So I don't have any money, so I can't wash it. They're out there showing you how to wash your money so you don't ruin it. And then I said, you ought to go to the Vatican or some of these cartel people because they know they've been laundering and washing money for God knows how many years. And they're perfect at it. The other day I watched a cartel, one of Pablo Escobar's old cartels who moved to Mexico. They were in one of those driving, where you drive your car through the car wash. And they had a semi full of money they were washing. Yeah, really. And folks, I've come to your rescue again. This is serious. I know that you want to sneeze, and it's impossible to do that outside because if you do, you're going to get arrested. And I've got a way that you can get away from that. I've invented a item that'll prevent you from ever sneezing. I'll get to that later. But anyway, no sneezing in public. And there's no shaking hands. But I've come to your rescue on this. Now, we've got to figure out a way to meet and greet after this is over, because nobody's going to want to shake your hand. You're going to get hit with a stick if you go close to somebody, even if you've did a business deal and taken the guy for like $100 million, you're not going to be able to shake his hand and get any satisfaction out of doing that. But I've got a way to get around it. And I presented, in fact, I did a show on it and a how to exercise on how to perform the 17th century French bow. There's many different types of bows, and you have to learn the first one, and that's how to bow to the emperor of the world, or the emperors in Washington. There's an emperor in Washington bow. Then I show you the one that you do on the street to all us peasants, and there's a peasant bow. And then there's one I specially arranged for all popes and cardinals. And this one you do a 180 and bow, if you get my drift. But anyway, I've got a lot of sponsors. A lot of people are getting rich from this coronavirus. Yes. And it isn't us. It isn't the people not in their little elite club. They've merged the Fed with the Treasury now. And boy, I'll tell you, it's going to be a field. They're making a fortune on this. Trillions of dollars going out. Where the hell is it going? You know? But you know what's happening? And I love this. The borders are closed and they're keeping the cartels moving. Yep. There's places that they go that nobody's stopping them. They seem to be out. I was noticing, for example, I got their schedule that you don't normally get. This is the CIA schedule that you get. You know, you got to be a special person to get this. But they're allowing drug dealing in the States between 7 and 8 a.m. for any heroin dealers. Now, if you're a cocaine dealer, you got to work at night from 8 to 9 only. And, I can't tell you where they're going to meet because then we could get in trouble. But, they're allowing the drug cartels to move freely across the border. And one of my great advertisers, the cartel Tijuana Airlines, has, given America something back for all the great business you've given them. And you can't fly to Europe now. You can't fly anywhere. You can't go to Vegas. You can't do anything. So what they do is they bring you through their tunnel. They fly you free to Europe on them. And you get a free case of Corona beer. And that does not cause the coronavirus. Do you know some people thought that in the beginning? Don't drink any Corona beer. Folks, this is getting really out of hand. Like I said, I could go on forever. A lot of crazy things happening. The other day I got a ticket. Yeah, I'm driving back in the States. I get a ticket, and the guy sends his police dog out to give me the ticket. I had a nice chat with the nice German Shepherd, and he wouldn't get near me. He said, "I'm not going to talk to you human beings. I'm telling you something. I'm not getting close to you guys anymore." Hey, did you hear the story about baseball? You know something? That's my cry to war. Give me baseball or give me death. And you can go to my website at greganthonysjournal.wordpress.com and you can read all about that because there is somebody in this country wanting to start the Second American Revolution when that's his battle cry. And he says it's better than the original one. And I agree with him. You know what baseball is trying to do? I keep up on the most important things in life. I mean, I can't even watch a Cub game. I went to 30 Cub games when I was a kid in Wrigley Field. I mean, I used to live there. And now it's shut down. That's a call to war when they start doing that. But anyway, I said, well, where's baseball? What are they thinking of doing? And if you haven't heard, if you've forgotten that they even play baseball anymore, they're thinking of moving all the teams to Phoenix. This is true. They're going back to their Little League days, and they're going to play all the baseball games, if they do, in Phoenix, so they don't have to fly. They're going to drive, and they're going to have triple headers, and they can do it because half the teams do their spring training there, but no fans. Well, something on the lighter side, folks, don't you get tired? Listen, I can't take the news more than 10 seconds now. That's my tolerance level. 10 seconds, it's off. Then you go to the alternative media, and they're also serious. I mean, everybody's got a good idea in this stuff. I'm not really talking bad about anybody, because anybody cooped up in their house for 30 days is allowed to do anything so they don't commit suicide. And if you do, folks, be prepared to die of the coronavirus, because according to the feds, everything is the coronavirus. And that is an official deal. I read about it. In fact, yesterday I heard them say that Dr. Death, what's his name? Death Statistics Fauci, one of his underlings, said that this guy got hit with a 300-pound pig falling from a second floor balcony. The pig was up there for some reason. And they called it a coronavirus because the neighbor heard him cough. Yeah, so everything's the coronavirus. And I think every American has forgotten that people died before this. And so, of course, I get the serious person who emailed me and said, Greg, you're making a mockery out of this. What are you doing? And I said, well, listen, my friend, tragedy plus time equals a bit of comedy. I don't know how you're getting through this, but if I have to listen to those guys any longer, I'm really going to commit suicide. And then a bunch of people start clapping. Good, we'll never have to listen to that idiot again. Oh my goodness. And I did. Did I say I had a dream last night? I forgot already. You see, I may even repeat myself. And then they'll say, well, he must be a senior and we're going to isolate him. This is one of their ideas. Isolate seniors. They can't work anymore. Put them somewhere and then they won't get young people sick. Well, I have a much better idea. I did this long before the COVID virus. I was an advocate of the senior citizen army. Yes, if you're 60, 55 or older, you're tired of low Social Security money, join the army. Right. And they picked up on it and they want you. So Uncle Sam wants you if you're 55 years old, or coronavirus or not. Boot camp is simple. One push up, one sit up, and you're in. And what the hell? The wars they fight now, nobody's fighting. Trump said we got an invisible war. What is this? I'll agree with him. America is a warring nation. We've been at war, folks, all but 20 years of our existence. And we're peaceful. Oh, we're a peaceful bunch, aren't we? But anyway, the senior citizen army is perfect. There'll be robots fighting this. We do everything on the internet. You can sit there, learn it all, get paid well, and save the young people. Isolate us in the military if you're over 55. We can do the job. And anyway, what the hell else we got to lose? And anyway, the old people are the ones that should be going out. We're on the downward side of this thing. I'm not afraid of going out and catching a cold. And how are people going to look at this? How are, America, the United States, the land of the free, the home of the brave, the strongest, the most prosperous country in the world. And everybody's sitting at home afraid to go out because they're going to catch a cold. People are going to laugh at this. I was watching a movie the other day on this war in Scotland, in England, when they were battling at the Battle of Culloden. And these guys were ready to go. Flu or no flu. They hadn't slept for 7 days, and they were going and running after the Brits. And what are we doing? Listening to the emperor tell us, you can't go out because you may catch a cold. And you know something? Everybody is listening. That's the problem here. This is not an epidemic. It is a plandemic of permissiveness, submissiveness, and listen to your owners. Back in 3 minutes. If I'm still here, and I promise I won't cough. On CRN Radio, The Greg Anthony Show.
The sound you just heard is the sound of a prison door slamming. But there's one group of concerned citizens and defense attorneys called Unite the People that has opened up countless prison doors. Unite the People was started by a dedicated prison reform advocate, Mitch McDowell, who was spurred on by a family tragedy and a brother sitting in prison for what could be a life sentence for, get this, an incident involving just words, no firearms, no nothing. You know, in California and all over the country, prison overcrowding got so bad, sometimes 50 inmates to one bathroom, the U.S. Supreme Court in 2011 ruled it unconstitutional. With no solution in sight due to mass incarceration and long sentences, Unite the People took action. And since then, many prisoners have found a quicker path to early release through Unite the People's legal services, an affordable answer to an overcrowded public defender's office and high-priced attorneys. So if you don't want to hear the sound of that prison door slamming and have a loved one or a friend languishing in prison, contact Unite the People at unitethepeople.org or call 888-245-9393 for a free consultation. That's unitethepeople.org at 888-245-9393. And remember, everybody deserves a second chance.
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares first or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644.
This is Dave Hull. To get your signed copy of Hullabaloo, The Life and Misadventures of LA radio legend Dave Hull, oh, that's me, call the Dave Hull Group at 760-320-4434, and within days your copy will be in your hands. 600 pages leather bound. That's 760-320-4434. Don't miss out. 760-320-4434. Call now.
Greg Anthony back on the Greg Anthony Show. Another day at home. Another dollar. Not a dollar. You can't make a dollar anymore. You got to sit at home. And what the heck is an essential business? Please, these people on the news are driving me crazy. Look, we all have our heroes. And I know a lot of people listen to the mainstream news. And then and like it. Okay, fine. Then there's a lot of people who listen to the alternative news, and they're the ones that come up with a bunch of ideas that the mainstream doesn't come up with. And in the case of the coronavirus, it's so complicated and confusing that it's really an area where anything goes here, because we're going from a point of view. I'm trying to be a bit serious before I start giving credit where this whole thing started, and who should really get the credit and really what it is, in my estimation. But anyway, we have all this going on the mainstream. I mean, you have, for example, let's start out with the first day I heard them say, wearing a mask is not going to help you. In fact, it's more dangerous because you're going to be sneezing in it. It's going to get all wet. You put your hands there. It doesn't really help. It's only for surgeons. Now they say everybody should wear a mask. So everybody's wearing a mask. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? But then to figure out exactly what this is even crazier. And that to me is the real masterful plan here. Because this thing is so invisible that they got you believing that you have it and you really don't have it. Yeah, Mike Pence said that March 22nd. He said basically this: 9 out of 10 Americans think they have the coronavirus and they don't have it. And then I like to give you the Prince Philip quote. I don't know if I did this. Well, I did it during my weekly show, but he was born in 1921. He's 99. He's the hubby of the Queen. And he said, if I could be reincarnated, I would wish to return to Earth as a killer virus to lower human population. Okay, he said that a number of years ago. He's still around. And these guys are fine. Then they want to isolate everybody. And I'm going, isolation is not good because if you get a little cold, the best thing for you is a little sun. But apparently, that's not what's happening because people are trying to do that and they can't. For example, I said crazy things are going on, right? Well, how about the paddleboarder arrested at Malibu Pier? I'm sure people in California have heard this. I think it's hilarious because I got a better story I never told you. I used to live in Marina Del Rey, of course, I used to live on a boat. And I figured the best way to be rich, and if you're poor, is to get a cheap yacht and live next to Johnny Carson. I lived near him for a long time. Yeah. Believe it or not. But anyway, I'm just talking now. But can't you just give me a break? I've been sitting in this house. I've got it written like I'm in prison here. I got it in my, don't write on the walls. I have to. Let me tell you something. But anyway, so, people want to go out and enjoy themselves. Well, the other day, I'm a scuba diver. So I figured the best way to protect myself in this, I don't leave the house. I put on my neoprene 7mm scuba diving suit with my hood. I don't wear my fins because it's hard to walk, but I got boots. They give you boots. And then I put even my oxygen tank on. I got my mask, helmet, everything. I'm in my car driving, and I get pulled over. And the guy says, you got to go home. I go, why? He goes, so it's a stay-at-home order. Haven't you heard? I said, no, I haven't heard. What's going on, officer? Could you please tell me? I don't know anything. I don't really. In fact, I came from the past. I wanted to let him think I was crazy. I told him I came from the 16th century and just learned how to scuba dive. But anyway, he said, you got to go home right away. And I said, well, why? I'm protected. I'm covered from foot to everything's covered. I even got oxygen here in case I start to die. And he sent me home, gave me a ticket. He was going to arrest me for being belligerent, for not believing the government stories. And that's what's really going on here. They want to make everybody, what is happening is everybody's turning into robots. And in a sense, it's crazy because listen, I've got an idea for the baseball people. Put real robots in every other seat. Then we can all go to the games, right? We're 6 feet apart. Let me get back the second half hour. I'm going to tell you what Eric Garcetti said. He wants you to snitch, and you're going to get a reward if you tattle on your neighbors for violating the stay-at-home order. Please, people, do me a favor. I'm giving you an order. Get to work. Have fun. Gamble your life away at Vegas. Back in 3 minutes on the Investigatore Giornale, otherwise known as the Greg Anthony Show.
The sound you just heard is the sound of a prison door slamming. But there's one group of concerned citizens and defense attorneys called Unite the People that has opened up countless prison doors. Unite the People was started by a dedicated prison reform advocate, Mitch McDowell, who was spurred on by a family tragedy and a brother sitting in prison for what could be a life sentence for, get this, an incident involving just words, no firearms, no nothing. In California and all over the country, prison overcrowding got so bad, sometimes 50 inmates to one bathroom, the U.S. Supreme Court in 2011 ruled it unconstitutional. With no solution in sight due to mass incarceration and long sentences, Unite the People took action. And since then, many prisoners have found a quicker path to early release through Unite the People's legal services, an affordable answer to an overcrowded public defender's office and high-priced attorneys. So if you don't want to hear the sound of that prison door slamming, and have a loved one or a friend languishing in prison, contact Unite the People at unitethepeople.org or call 888-245-9393 for a free consultation. That's unitethepeople.org at 888-245-9393. And remember, everybody deserves a second chance.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or a loved one suffering with diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost, regardless of your age. All you need is Medicare or private insurance to be potentially eligible. Call the Diabetes Solution Center right now for details. Just takes a couple of minutes. Our friendly, knowledgeable agents will give you free, no-obligation information, handle all the insurance paperwork, and make sure your supplies are delivered directly to your door for free.
Call U.S. Medical Supply 24 hours a day. 888-912-1332. 888-912-1332. 888-912-1332. Call right now. 888-912-1332.
Hey folks, Greg Anthony here, and I'm a firm believer in looking outside the box when it comes to keeping myself healthy, wealthy, and wise. And that's why I recommend you turn to a company called Tri-Vortex Technology. And lately, I tried a Tri-Vortex disc on my aching left shoulder, and guess what? Now I can report I'm sleeping better and just about pain-free. You know, the technology at Tri-Vortex is a revolutionary process in health and wellness, and way back in 1988, owner and inventor Brian David Anderson looked long and hard for an inexpensive way to get better hydration out of normal drinking water. And the rest, folks, is history, leading to one product after another for natural, fast pain relief, reduced negative effects from cell phones and smart meters, and cutting-edge benefits for skin and body care. And in these times of medical and economic uncertainty, that's why it's up to you to look for innovative ways to keep you and your family safe. And Tri-Vortex has figured out a way without ingesting dangerous fluids and pills to maintain and improve high levels of water hydration, maximizing your ability to retain the necessary vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. And if you believe in the old adage that an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure, you have to try the innovative health products at Tri-Vortex. That's TRIVORTEX.com, proud sponsor of the Greg Anthony Show.
Okay, Greg Anthony here, still alive and kicking, no coughing. I'm not getting close to anybody. And we're going to have a Friday night party here. Why not? I mean, what are we doing in this world anymore? Is anybody laughing? You know, you have to in a situation like this. And let me give you a reason why. I mean, look at what Mayor Garcetti's doing. He's wants people to be a snitch. You know, he's asking people to snitch on their neighbors if they're outside playing. Well, this happened to my brother just the other day. He went to his golf course in Simi Valley, and he opened the key. You know, he has a key to the country club. And the police came, said he had to go home. It'd be $1,000 fine because they are breaking the stay-at-home order. And he's going, there's nobody here. I mean, it's me and my wife. Nobody. We need some fresh air. Get home. You believe that? And that poor paddle boarder. That was funny. I broke into the story with my wetsuit problem. But he was amazing. I mean, this guy, he put it on Instagram. He was there in the middle of nowhere on the ocean. And these two big lifeboats come, and lifeguard boats, and they basically arrested him for a misdemeanor for violating Lord Gavin Newsom's stay-at-home order, a misdemeanor, and suspicion of disobeying a lifeguard order to go home. You know, don't you remember when you were a kid and you got grounded and you used to sneak out your window and then you go out and play with all your kids, you know, all your friends? Yeah, come on, people. I am daring anybody to just go out the back door, sneak out. But where are you going to go? Well, Most people, from California want to get away. They go to Vegas, right? We can't. Well, again, here was my idea the other day. Let's start a pool. We can't even bet on baseball, football, anything. You go to work, you start the pool. Well, why don't we do this? And I really was serious about it. Then I figured, well, it might be hard because I checked today, and every state, there's 46 of the 50 states have stay-at-home orders in one way or another. Meaning, if you have an essential business, you can stay open. What is that? I think every business is essential. For example, the other day, I go to a barber, closed in the United States. I go here in Mexico, a little better. He had 6-foot long scissors. I said, be careful. He said, are those the ones you use? I said, are those the ones you use in your yard? He says, yes, but I can't get any closer. Little better in Mexico. But, what's an essential business? Everybody's business is essential. Mine is essential. If I don't work, I don't eat. Is that essential? No, not according to the emperor in Washington. These guys, folks, let me just put it real simple. It's BS from my point of view. Now, you can believe what you hear in news. Then what I recommend you do is you compare it to what you hear on the alternative media. Let me give you an example. The other day I was watching, and they said every hospital in the world is full. And then they pointed out some hospitals in New York and California. Then some citizen journalists went out. I checked the alternative media, and they went to the same hospitals, and there was nobody there. One news report from the big station said, testing is going on at Cedars-Sinai Hospital, and there's so many people. The citizen journalist goes over there, and nobody there. And then I start talking to emergency room doctors. It seems to be a pattern across the country. And it leads me to believe that something's up in Denmark here. And so, as a questioning person, a thinking person, a free thinking person, what they don't want. Look, America is in a problem state right now. It's on the brink, I think, of collapse. I mean, everything's shut down in the world, but it's funny that America is being targeted here. I say targeted. You go to Africa, they don't seem to have as big a problem. Russia still moving. China's back to work, but America, England, all the Western countries seem to have this really crazy thing going on. So you got all these things going on in one universe, one area, one universe of thought, all these things going on in another. And then you come to my show, and I take no responsibility and don't really care what you believe. In fact, if you voted these idiots into office, and I call them nothing more than that, I don't care whether you're a Trump supporter or a Biden supporter, when he probably doesn't know his name today. I don't care who you are. If you voted, you've caused the problem, not them. They're just happy puppets, given a script every day. Oh, yeah, that's how it works. It's kind of like what I have always called this a reality show. It's real, but it's not. They script everything. These guys aren't smart enough in Washington to figure this out. So there's got to be some puppet masters. And, as the weeks go on, I'll explain that serious stuff because I've done a whole bunch of study on it since, and I'll just get serious for 1 minute. I started to learn where this is all coming from. Like they say the deep state on the mainstream, then you go to the alternative and it's a whole bunch of people. Well, one area that's always left out is Rome. And I happened to live there for 7 years as a journalist. And when I was working as an editor for the American newspaper, I was almost killed in a bombing by a supposed terrorist group, right? A supposed terrorist group that was laying a message to the hangman Ronald Reagan was coming in 10 days, Well, I could talk all day and night about what I learned. And let me tell you, it wasn't what they said in the mainstream news. And I was working for the mainstream news. So I started to do some research, and it changed my life totally because I could have been meeting my maker then. So I figured, you know what? I'm not going to sell out the rest of my life. I'm going to find out who the heck these people are. And so I pursued it for the last 25 years. And you can come to shows in the future and get my take. It's something that, let me tell you this really truthfully. It's a discussion that was very out front when our country was formed. In the 19th century, people were talking about it. In the 18th century, they knew the enemy within. But now all of a sudden, our journalists and everybody have got amnesia. Yeah. And you're wondering why America maybe is turning into a police state. Well, we'll talk about that another day. I've got better things to worry about because I really want to give first credit. At first I feel sorry most for these rich actors. Believe it or not, I have a heart. I talk bad about them sometimes, but I really do care about Robert De Niro. He was seen the other day. These are the people that they always love me, kiss me. How do you think they're feeling now? Sitting in their mansions with all their millions of dollars and they can't do anything. Yeah, they don't have thousands of people to go act in front of. So they're going stir crazy. They're actually going out of their minds. I saw De Niro the other day. This was like somebody sent me this. He's walking down Hollywood Boulevard against the stay-at-home order in a Henry VIII suit, pretending he's in some theatrical play because he can't take it anymore. So I feel sorry for these people. They're having really psychological effects. I feel sorry for them. All their money, everything. But I have a heart. And then, of course, we have the real problem here. What about after this thing? They say when the emperor says this is over, what are we going to do? What exactly, when the emperor says go back to work, how are we going to handle this? They're telling us the whole world's going to be different. I don't know about you, but I've always been the kind of person that doesn't like government telling me what to do. Whatever happened to that concept, where the government's supposed to be small and we're supposed to be in charge? Well, folks, let me tell you a secret. It's never been that way, even from the beginning of our country, because we don't even know who our real founding fathers are. Yeah, I've got a list of ones that never took any credit, and someday I will tell you, because I like to give credit where credit is due. So, knowing that this is a reality show being played out right before our very eyes, and we are nothing but small little extras on this big stage of life, we're expendable. They're sending you your $1,200. And I heard that was the get you used to the universal wage control limit they want to do in the world. Yeah, they've talked about that. Well, who are these people? You know something? They are so secret, they never want to take credit. But I try to find out who they are and give them credit. But let's stop with their director. See, every good film has to have a director. Now, some people are going, well, I believe this. And I said, okay, fine. When I sometimes watch Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible, I believe it. I can understand you. I sometimes watch some of these science fiction movies and I believe them. So I understand you people that are watching the mainstream news and believing this. Then, of course, there's the people in the alternative. Now, my show, if you go to my daily show, has been called the alternative to the alternative. And the reason for that is I don't give a shit. Simply put, I like to watch all this stuff and I have fun with it. I've learned over the years that people really do anything and will believe anything. Anything. And this proves my point. They believe anything. They'll believe that this pandemic's going to kill them. It's the Black Plague. It's the end of the world. And how many people, I go out on the streets and there aren't many people out. I would love to see everybody just say, okay, guys, I believe, I see you playing this pandemic thing, but I'm not afraid of it. If I die, I die because I don't fear death. I've been dead for millions of years before this, and that didn't bother me one bit. Remember that one? But it is going to be interesting when the emperor finally says, okay, you can go back out and work. And it was like that dream I had. I dreamt that this Dr. Death Fauci was like a Dracula. And he was straight. I'm going to take your COVID-19 blood and take it all. And I'm just a nightmare. And all of a sudden I see this Frankenstein guy who looks like Trump going, doctor, don't take all this blood. We need some people to work after this thing is over. And then I woke up in a cold sweat. But anyway, that's what's happening. This whole thing is so out of proportion that everybody I talk to, I don't care whether they're the most conservative person in the world that used to say, Greg, you're crazy. This can't be. Or the most, liberal person, not liberal, but just a person that researched a lot more than I do and said, Greg, you're not going far enough. You should really see this stuff where they really go. So everybody knows deep down in your heart that something is not right here. I could see it if it was like a really serious black plague, and you walked out and you were bleeding from the eyes and you died at that moment. But it's a cold. It's a flu. 99% of these people, they say, are fine. Tom Hanks, that was the original tip-off to me. Mr. Angels and Demons man himself. He got it. But his son said, well, he wasn't even sick and he's okay. Good for Tom. And, what if you get the flu now? You got a chance in hell of saying it's anything else but the COVID virus? Hell no. You can talk to the cows come home and nobody is going to believe you at all. Not one person. So anyway, I told you I had an idea for all you gamblers out there. Aren't you a little bored? I like to put a few bucks on a basketball game every now and then. I admit it. But there's no games. So I figured let's bet. We don't even have any office pools. Why don't we bet on when the emperor is going to tell us to go back to work? Date, time? What do you got an idea? Then I started thinking, well, we got 46 states. Let's do it in each state. When is your lord of the manor going to tell you you can go back and work in the fields? And that's that's an interesting scenario. But we could actually each put, start your own little office pools on when you can go back to work. So we got Garcetti telling, trying to make you into a snitch. The mafia is coming to our rescue going, don't be a snitch. Join us. You know something? Once you get in, you can't get out, though. But how about this idea they had? They have so many great ideas. The GPS on your wrist, that's a good one. The GPS, put it on your wrist, and then once you get near 6 feet from someone, it'll buzz. I'm going a step farther. Just make it shock you to death. Then they'll say, oh, another COVID-19 death. We are in one of the biggest, I say, psyops campaigns ever run, because whether what they're saying is true, that there is some, let's give them the benefit of the doubt, there's a virus. But listen, we've had many of these coronaviruses and rhinoviruses that kill a lot more people, just as many people before this, and they didn't shut down the world. Folks, it's something else. It could be they want to take over the world. They want to change the financial system. They want to change the educational system. They also want to control you, keep you at home, because it's kind of like divide and conquer. Keep you away and keep you watching those talking heads that keep saying, oh, the hospitals are jammed. You can't believe anybody else but us. Folks, don't let them do it to you. You're a thinking person. They want robots. Come on, there are owners finally clamping down the Ponderosa. Yes, the Ponderosa. Hey, listen, go to my website. We're all out of time. Did not get to my favorite story. You know something? Baseball is my cry to war. Yes, give me baseball or give me death. Go to my website. Read all about that. Greg Anthony's Journal at WordPress.com. GregAnthony'sJournal.wordpress.com. And catch me every Friday night here on CRN Radio Channel 3 from 7 to 8 p.m.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212.
This is the entertainment answer. If there is a bright side to all this shelter-in-place time, it is that you can catch up on all the great movies hitting Blu-ray and digital. Just Mercy, rated PG-13, is now on digital and releases on Blu-ray and DVD April 14th. It is a powerful film based on the story of an innocent man sitting on death row and the young lawyer in search of justice. It was one of my top films of last year and a must-watch for fans of legal dramas. Again, Just Mercy. For this entertainment answer, I'm Matt Mungle.
Hey folks, Greg Anthony here, and I'm a firm believer in looking outside the box when it comes to keeping myself healthy, wealthy, and wise. And that's why I recommend you turn to a company called Tri-Vortex Technology. And lately, I tried a Tri-Vortex disc on my aching left shoulder, and guess what? Now I can report I'm sleeping better and just about pain-free. You know, the technology at Tri-Vortex is a revolutionary process in health and wellness, and way back in 1988, owner and inventor Brian David Anderson looked long and hard for an inexpensive way to get better hydration out of normal drinking water. And the rest, folks, is history, leading to one product after another for natural, fast pain relief, reduced negative effects from cell phones and smart meters, and cutting-edge benefits for skin and body care. And in these times of medical and economic uncertainty, that's why it's up to you to look for innovative ways to keep you and your family safe. And Tri-Vortex has figured out a way without ingesting dangerous fluids and pills to maintain and improve high levels of water hydration, maximizing your ability to retain the necessary vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. And if you believe in the old adage that an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure, you have to try the innovative health products at Tri-Vortex. That's TRIVORTEX.com, proud sponsor of the Greg Anthony Show.
Okay, Greg Anthony here, and boy, that week just flew right by. It's Friday night at 7? No. You know something? I made a mistake. I thought I was done. You know, the waitress was bringing me a glass of wine. I'm in a small little wine bar in San Quintin, Mexico, and I just wanted to have that and get out of here. But anyway, my producer told me, you've got 5 minutes, Greg. You got to fill that time. And there's nothing worse than dead air. That's worse than being labeled a coronavirus death if you didn't have it. Like the guy that got hit with the 300-pound pig. You know, come on, give me a break. Well, listen, you know, like I said, I'm an overseer of this. I love watching people. I get a kick out of most anything anymore. You can do anything, and you're going to get a laugh out of me because I've seen it all. I mean, from the time of my time in Rome when I was almost blown up by a bomb because Reagan came, I said, what did I do? You know, you're a gringo, you're an American. But anyway, I've seen it all. And there's nothing you can do but just take delight in watching the human being go through his daily fun and fantasies. And nothing bigger than what the government's doing to us today is my look at it. It's, to me, I just consider it a TV reality show that's getting me a little sick now. Really. I mean, it's, I don't see any levity. I don't see any, there's no romantic scenes. Nobody's touching anybody, nothing. It's getting a little sterile, isn't it? But anyway, there's people out there who believe it's fine. Then there's people on the internet who want to start a revolution, the Second American Revolution. I thought this would be a good time. And so I got contacted, and I got a few minutes here. I'm just going to give you a teaser so you go to my website and read the article. You'll love it. I got a Well, I'll just tell you real quickly. His name's Slats Grobnik. He's a freedom fighter. I met him years ago in Chicago, and he's been fighting for freedom to basically keep this country free all his life. And what he did was he built a replica Roman Colosseum in a Kansas cornfield. Build it and they will come. And he's finally finished. And he basically, I talked to him last night from his bunker in Kansas. And it starts out like this. He said, Slats Grobnik looked over a Kansas cornfield, standing atop his replica Roman Colosseum, and he saw America put to sleep by an occult spell. No lights in the distance, no cars in the interstate. It was as if the whole country drank a witch's brew from the dark ages and fell into a deep sleep. It finally happened after all these years and nobody listened. This invisible psyops black plague has arrived, said Slats, thinking he could never fill those 100 seats in his Coliseum, since everyone in America was frightened to leave their homes. How could this be? Just when I was ready to open my dream theme park, these scoundrels, these infiltrators taking us down from within, beat me to the punch and shut the world down. And one day, everybody wanted to buy tickets to see the elites fight it out in my gladiator ring. But now, even Wrigley Field is closed. He stood silent for a minute, picking up an authentic Julius Caesar sword. And I have to end it right there because we're running out of time. But his call to arms, you got to read the story, the Second American Revolution. It'll be more popular than George Washington. Give me baseball or give me death. And that was from General Slats Grobnik. Go to my part 1 story on Greg Anthony's Journal. .wordpress.com. You'll be surprised at what you're going to read. And basically come back next week to CRN. Hey, listen, folks, there's a lot of serious stuff we'll talk about here, but I can't do it now. I'm just going crazy, and if I don't die from that virus, I'm going to die from basically boredom. Got nowhere to go. I'm going to be back here next week on CRN Radio Channel 3, The Greg Anthony Show. Thanks for listening, folks.